Wakizashi's Tea House. Please subscribe. Konnichiwa minasan, this is Wakizashi coming to you from the tea house over in Japan. How you doing? Are you good? I am super genki. Okay, today I want to do a review of this one. This is Batman the Imposter, Book 1. It's a black label book. It's come out from DC Comics on Tuesday, October 12th, for the DC black label price of $5.99. Now it's a bit pricey, but you do get 48 pages for that. What I want to tell you is the artist on this book is one of my favourite artists who's come out recently. He's famous for his work on Gideon Falls, if you know that book from Image Comics. The artist is Andrea Sorrentino. This is written by Mattson Tomlin, who is a name I don't know, but I've heard he's written screenplays. I think he's got something to do with the new Robert Pattinson emo, possibly Batman movie. And it's coloured by Jody Belair. Here's the cover of the book, or book 1 of Gideon Falls by Sorrentino. That's a great looking image there. And look at this is some of the artwork which is inside Gideon Falls. I love the way he breaks up the panels here. It's got a kind of psychedelic look to it. Here's a brief look at some of the gorgeous artwork inside this new Batman book. Look at the page here, you can see Batman kicking some serious ass. And look at this one, I love this scene of the silhouette of Batman on the steeple. So, is this book a recommend? Yes, it is. This is my personal pick of the week for DC Comics. It was a great, refreshing Batman tale. It's dark, it's dirty, it's gritty. The action really pops, it's fluid. The panel work by Sorrentino is really good. You really need to see this. But as I said, it's a little bit pricey, so it's up to you. Do you really want to get yet another Batman book? I do recommend it though. So anyway, enough from me. That's my brief review. Let's have a look at the story. Here we go. The story opens with a crash. Oh, Batman lies beaten and bloodied on the floor, surrounded by broken glass. The woman doesn't seem surprised that the Batman is Bruce Wayne, and she thinks to herself that he's bleeding to death on her floor. She thinks about calling the police, but she doesn't make the call. It turns out this woman is a race-swapped Dr. Leslie Tompkins, and she's reminiscing about when Bruce Wayne was brought to her as a child after his parents were brutally murdered in front of him. She talks about giving him a laundry list of diagnoses, and she quotes acute anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, possibly on the spectrum, you what? And PTSD, of course. And then she goes on about his rage, which drove his guardian away, and she tells him he has to learn to control the rage or it's going to get him killed. After Bruce regains consciousness, realises where he is and says, "Hello, Leslie," she makes a point of using her professional name, Dr. Tompkins. "You're welcome, by the way," she says. Bruce is asking, what for? "For keeping you alive, stitching you back together, not calling the police." Bruce asks where his clothes are, and Dr. Tompkins says, "Clothes? You mean the bat costume you wear to assault people in the street every night?" Nice comment. "Sit down and tell me what happened to you." And Bruce is asking why. "Why should I do that?" "Because if you don't, I'm going to call the police and I'm going to tell the world that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and it will be for your own good." So Bruce is getting lectured here by Dr. Tompkins. So Bruce starts to tell her about his night, saying it was relatively quiet. As Batman, he was attempting to stop a liquor store robbery. I love the art here by Andrea Sorrentino, the use of panels and the kinetic, realistic artwork. Bang, bang! It looks like the storekeeper gets hit in the shoulder. Batman says, "Quiet, keep pressure on it." And then he gets a call, "Hey psycho, on your knees. I ain't playing. I'm going to splatter the wall with this kid's brains." In a surprising scene, we see Batman throw one of his batarangs or shurikens, and he misses. And then the gunman says, "My turn." Bang, bang, bang. Crash. Again. "Move your ass. Let's go, let's go. Holy shit, did you see that? He's real." The gunman and his accomplice steal a man's car and shoot him, dead in the street. Oh shit, what is it? He's still coming. Then we see Batman chasing them on his motorbike. Now, is this a nod to the upcoming Batman movie, I wonder? Batman throws something in through the window. Crash. Ah, snack, please, please. I love the artwork here again. How scary does Batman look? Look at the way he's done his eyes and his mouth. And then, he gets stabbed in the leg. Batman pulls the knife out of his leg, decks the gunman, and then makes his way to Leslie's clinic. He tells her, I lost consciousness on the way back. I ditched the bike. I didn't want to bleed out on the street. And she says, so you came here to die? Or for help? And Bruce goes on to tell her that everything that's happened to him so far, it was a choice. It was because of a vow he made. And she's asking, like, what the hell are you talking about? And again, we're treated to some gorgeous panel work by Sorrentino. He says to Dr. Tompkins that he went to the ends of the earth to learn how to control this monster. Not to purge the fear or the pain, but to become it. It's so Batman, isn't it? And Dr. Tompkins tells him, look, as a psychotherapist, I've got to say, you sound insane. And she tells him that he needs help. Where are you going? Goodbye, Leslie. If you walk out the door, I am going to call the police. Dr. Tompkins tells him to explain why. Why is he doing it? Now look at this panel here. Feast your eyes on that. Look at the silhouette of Batman in white on top of the steeple. And he says, last week Gotham had its first night with 0 violent crimes in 54 years. It didn't happen because of the cops. It happened because of me. We switch scenes to the Wesker building. A new character, Detective Wong, has been called out there to investigate. We found these zip lines attached to the roof. We believe it was the Batman. What makes you think that? Says Detective Wong. And then they show video footage of a blurry image in the sky. Is it a UFO? No, it could be a Batman-shaped Batman. And then he says, look, stop. This guy here, he's not a construction worker on our payroll. He's been working alongside them, hiding in plain sight. Detective Wong gets called into a meeting with the boss, Mr. Wesker, and he's asking her, I want to know what you're doing about the Batman problem. And she says that she appreciates his concern, but she's not at liberty to talk about it. And then Mr. Wesker goes into a big speech about how he's done so much for the city, he's funded the city, and he even says, I am Gotham, not just a concerned citizen. Basically, Wesker is complaining that Batman's just bad for business. As Detective Wong is leaving the building via the elevator, she meets somebody in there who seems to be talking to himself. Shh. Arnold, don't shush me. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's our stop. And then you hear her thinking, I guess that's the sun no one ever sees. As she leaves the building, she's thinking to herself, if the Batman's presence is having the kind of economic consequences he claims, that's an angle that hasn't been explored yet. A guy in a batsuit beating up street criminals always felt like it was a bit much. She's thinking about the possibility that it could be some kind of corporate espionage. Then she's going to go through the files, look for patterns, and then she realises that Wesker himself was probably able to claim insurance on these losses. So, could it be self-sabotage? Detective Wong gets back to her office and she's thinking about the facts about the Batman. What do they know so far? He's male, somewhere between 20 to 40, fair complexion, possible military training, but not necessarily. And then she's also mentioning there's an underlying infrastructure and access to wealth. Wong, get your ass in here. We've already started. Wait, no one told me there was a briefing. She sees some new faces and she gets told that there are some officers joining from homicide. Oh no, someone's been killed. And then they tell her he's finally killed someone. This was footage taken last night on a rooftop from 75th Street. And there's the Batman with 3 people blindfolded and tied up. He kept them on their knees for about 2 minutes. Then, can it be true? Batman appears to kick them off the roof. She's told the footage has come from a private network. They're not sure who's supplied it. How long do you think it can go on before the people with power decide to do something about it? It turns out the victims were all serving time in jail for murder, but they managed to get out due to some kind of slip-up in the court. I don't care if these guys were killer clowns murdering 6-year-old girls. This is not justice. The Bat is not our helper to be called upon with a giant flashlight in the sky. He's a criminal and now a murderer. I want you to hunt him down. Is that clear? Clear! I'm going to skip ahead a few pages here and we find Batman confronting Dr. Leslie Tompkins again, and she's asking him, is it true? She's holding the newspaper with the headline, Batman kills. Take off the mask. I'm not speaking to you like this. Is that better? What happened, Bruce? And he replies, there's an imposter. What does that mean? Someone's out there pretending to be Batman, pretending to be me. It's a brilliant setup. Hide behind my mask. Leave me the blame for a killing spree. And she asks him, do you have any leads? I've been asking around. And then we see some great scenes here of Batman asking around. And look at this, there's a nod to the new Batman movie trailer again, with these guys wearing skeleton masks, can you see? And he says, skeletons started appearing on Devil's Night last year. The numbers are growing. I owed them a visit anyway. Is this the Robert Pattinson Batman? The pretty boy Batman? Bruce tells her that fear is the most vicious weapon. I'll skip ahead a few pages again. I want to show you this one. You've got Detective Wong visiting some of the classic villains. There's the Penguin, and there's Black Mask, and then you see the new guy, Wesker, again. When you know you're honing in on something, blindly chasing that acid gut feeling, you can't articulate what it is, but I know it is close. Then we see Bruce trying to connect the victims. He's going through the photos. They didn't live remotely close to each other in Gotham. I don't know what's going on. I've got to turn the lever, I've got to squeeze harder until I can capture or kill the person who's behind it. But there's always a chance that GCPD catches him first. There's a knock at his door. And who is it? I'm sure you can guess. Mr. Wayne, hi, I'm Detective Blair Wong. I was wondering if you had a minute to talk about the Batman. And that's where the issue ends. Hey, are you still here? Okay, that's awesome. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. What do you think? What do you think about the art style? Do you like it? Please leave a comment if you would, and if you feel like liking or subscribing, that would be awesome. So, this is Wakizashi signing off for now. There'll be a new video coming up soon. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Matane! Wakizashi's Tea House. Please subscribe.